If you are an employer in Canada who has foreign employees, then the length of time that that employee or employees may be able to work in Canada on a work permit will vary depending on the program under which the work permit was initially issued. In some situations, the typical 3-year work permit may be renewed for up to a cap of 5 years. In other instances, up to a cap of 7 years, or even renewed in an unlimited number of times in certain situations. When a work permit is issued to a foreign national to work inside Canada, the duration of that work permit is going to be issued for a specific duration, typically not exceeding 3 years. Of course, it could be substantially less than that, depending on the needs of the employer. So if you as an employer have a special project that will be running for 6 months, you have the option of requesting a 6-month duration. So therefore, when the work permit is issued, one of the conditions on the work permit will be that the employee will only be able to work in Canada for a duration of 6 months on that particular work permit. So the duration may be for as low as 6 months, but it can also go on for as long as 3 years, right? The initial work permit that would have been issued. Once that work permit expires, then typically the employee has the option, assuming that the employer still has employment and is going to be employing that employee, the employee still has the option of renewing that work permit for another period of time, typically in 2-year increments. Okay, so renewals or what are called extensions of a work permit do not typically exceed 2-year increments. And so somebody who is on a 3-year work permit would then be applying to have their work permit extended for another 2 years. And depending on their eligibility, they could then apply for another 2 years and so on and so forth. So that is the general process in which it works. However, not every category of worker is able to apply for extensions on an ongoing basis and for an unlimited number of times. As an example, employees coming to Canada under the ICT, the Intra-Company Transferee Program, and where those employees are what are called specialized knowledge employees, those employees would initially be issued a 3-year work permit, and then upon expiration of those 3 years, they would be able to apply for an extension of 2 years, capping out at 5. Okay? So a specialized worker applying under the ICT program would have met their cap at the 5-year marker and would therefore have to leave Canada once they have completed 5 full years of work inside Canada. While at the same time, somebody who is a senior managerial, who fits into what's called the senior managerial level of an ICT application, would have a 7-year window within which to cap out their time in Canada. So that person who is coming as a senior managerial worker under the ICT program would initially be issued a 3-year work permit, and then when that time is done, they would be issued an extension of up to 2 years, assuming the employer still has a need for them, and then they would have the opportunity to apply for another 2-year extension, totaling 7 years for a senior managerial worker applying under the ICT. And then once they've hit that 7-year marker, they would not be able to apply for an extension again at that point, and would need to return to their home countries, assuming that nothing else has changed for them. So those are just examples of programs that have limitations on how long an employee may be able to work in Canada for. Somebody who is coming to Canada as a live-in caregiver, for instance, will typically have a maximum period of 4 years. somebody who is applying under a program under the North America Free Trade Agreement or CUSMA as it is now called, Canada, United States, Mexico Agreement. Such an applicant would be issued a work permit for an initial period of 3 years, and then they would have the opportunity to continually renew that work permit in 3-year increments for an unlimited number of times. And so to answer your question as an employer, the duration of time that an employee, a foreign national, currently holding a work permit may be able to work inside Canada for is really going to depend on the type of immigration program under which their work permit was initially issued. All right? So I trust that you've gotten value from this. As always, remember to like our videos so others will see more videos like this. Subscribe to our channel and check us out on go.gooselaw.com. Thanks. See you again.